114, 114, hey, Mr. Downstairs at your door. On the radio, in my skull.
Hi. Sorry for such a banger intro and then my dumbass face comes out like, hi, how are you? Sorry, the intros are just for me. I like making them. So, as you may or may not know, on July 12th, 2024, a film by the name of LongLegs was released to the world. And as you may or may not know, that film was met with mixed reviews. A lot of people loved it, a lot of people hated it. And I'm not here to get into the analytics of the film. I'm not here going over critic scores of 1, 2, and 3-star reviews from critics who watch 2 movies a year and think they have any sort of... Anyway, I'm not going to talk shit about them. All you need to know is that this guy right here loved it. So I want to talk about it. I guess a short little synopsis of LongLegs would be in order. So LongLegs is a film that stars Michael Monroe as Agent Lee Harker, who is an FBI agent for the FBI. I said FBI twice because I'm a fucking idiot. And she has been put in charge, or at least being put onto the case of LongLegs, a mysterious killer who kills people without actually being in the homes. And her job is to find out who LongLegs is and how the fuck he's doing it. Now, if you didn't know, LongLegs is being played by none other than our boy Johnny Blaze, aka Nicolas Cage. Now, like I said, I personally loved this film. A lot of people agree with me because I've been reading it. I didn't just make this shit up, but a lot of people say that it's a two-watcher. Like, you watch it twice. The first time is to really take it in, get a feel of the environment and the atmosphere and what the film has to offer you. And the second time is to watch and analyze what is happening in the background, because a lot of shit is happening in this film. Again, we're not here to talk about the film. We are here to talk about something known as the LongLegs ARG. Now, ARG stands for Alternate Reality Game. It's like a puzzle. That is all you need to know. It is a puzzle that people from all around the world can participate in to try and crack a code. And when it comes to LongLegs, if you have never seen the film before, the entire thing revolves around 1, occult Satan worship, and 2, ciphers. The shit is everywhere. Now, I took the time to go back as far as the first ever teaser on Neon's YouTube channel for LongLegs, and I went from that point all the way to when the movie was released, and maybe even a little forward from that, to translate everything there is to translate that has nothing to do with the movie itself. What I mean by that is I'm not going to talk about anything that has to do with the movie, because the movie kind of goes full circle and translates it all anyway, so there's no point in just another random fucking guy on the internet telling you something you already know. So I am going to go and I'm going to translate and decipher and go through this entire ARG from the start to the very end as much as I can with you guys. I'm going to share all of my findings. Before we even dive into the likes of the LongLegs ARG, you guys may be wondering what this is next to me. Now, this is the heartbeat of the LongLegs ARG. This is the most critical thing you need to have when you are solving the LongLegs ARG or the puzzles within the LongLegs ARG. What this is the LongLegs Cipher and its English equivalent. Everything written in red is in LongLegs language. When you're watching the film, LongLegs only passes messages to the authorities via these letters. Next to them, in black ink, I wrote the English equivalent for it. For example, the 1 dot is A, the 2 forward slashes are B, V is C, C is D, line is E, so on and so forth. Now, like I said, this is the heartbeat for the LongLegs ARG. If you don't have this cipher code, you're not gonna go anywhere within the ARG because the entirety of the ARG is written in this language. I am not going to take credit for work that I didn't do. I did not decipher this. A user on Reddit by the name of u/Jonah_Cade was the one who first deciphered this, and I used his deciphering code thing to write it up on the whiteboard so that I could further go into this ARG. Everything from this point on has been me. It took me a very long time to do this, so I hope you guys all enjoyed this video. I hope you guys liked this kind of shit because goddamn, I thought I did, and then I took this one up and I was like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. The first thing I want to cover when talking about the LongLegs ARG is this right here. Now this is a vinyl. This is not any vinyl, however. These were only handed out at the Hollywood premiere of the film LongLegs 1 week prior to its worldwide release. This is one of 50 that are made in the entire world, and I got my hands on it because eBay exists. I didn't go to that fucking premiere. I'm broke, but I also make bad financial decisions, which is how this ended up in my hands. Now, this is what the cover looks like. I'm not sure if the camera will focus on it, but that translates to Hiss by Sisterdestroyer. And the bottom two words are recorded and then a date. But those characters have not been translated because that is in LongLegs numbers. And I'm not trying to fucking figure that shit out, so I don't really care when it was recorded, if I'm being honest with you. So it was recorded on X date. I originally took up this ARG because I thought I was only one of 50 people in the entire world to be able to put this entire thing together. However, Neon decided that they're going to upload the entirety of the vinyl onto their YouTube. So the contents of this vinyl is no longer exclusive to one of 50 vinyl. It's on their YouTube channel, and that sucks. I mean, in reality, it's my fault for spending a fuckload of money on something like that. I don't know why I did that, but then again, it's a really cool thing from a movie that I really love, so no regrets. When you pop this thing into a record player, this is what comes through the speakers.
114, hey, Mr. Downstairs at your door. On the radio, in my skull, sing this song, take your takes off.
If you listen closely, you can hear a certain part of the song just doesn't match up with the rest of the song. If you didn't pick it up by now, that part is recorded in reverse. So I did what anyone else would do, and I took the audio and exported it out into an MP3 file, cut out that one section, and then reversed it. And this was what it said.
Your little heads between my finger and my thumb and twist and pull, and there was goop that would break.
Could you understand a single thing that was being said there apart from like 2 or 3 words? I didn't. The amount of noise coming through this vinyl, and when I say noise, I mean static. The amount of static coming through this vinyl was insane, making his words borderline illegible. I even put it through a noise reducer to try and reduce the amount of noise, to try and clear up what he was saying made no difference. What I needed was a clean MP3 with little to no noise. Luckily, a YouTube user by the name of quiet uploaded Hiss by Sisterdestroyer with literally no noise in it. Uploaded it to their YouTube channel, and I found it on a whim, just looking for anything else that might have been released by Sisterdestroyer or Nicolas Cage's LongLegs. Found that, no noise, chopped it up, reversed it, and here is the final result.
Put their little heads between my finger and my thumb and twist and pull. And there was goop that would break.
Now, what I think this is, and this isn't confirmed by anyone else, but what I personally think this is that this is a play on the whole satanic panic of rock and roll in the 70s and 80s, as well as, if you guys are old enough to remember, there was a trend where people thought that some music was satanic because if you played it in reverse, it was a message to the devil or a message to the listener to kill their family or something like that. I think that this is what it is. Seeing that the entirety of LongLegs is about family aside, the killing of an entire family and then yourself. So I feel like that's what that is. If you play it in reverse, that specific part right there, you get a very clear message of LongLegs saying these abhorrent shit. And I think that's pretty cool. It really sucks because I thought I was like the only person that was going to be able to do that because only 50 of these were made. And I guarantee I'm the only person who gives a fuck enough to do that. So it just sucks. But I'm glad that it's out on the internet for everyone to listen to because it is haunting is what it is. Oh my God. The next thing we're going to focus on are the teasers leading up to the release of LongLegs. Now, there were a bunch of billboards, mock-ups of newspaper articles, and YouTube videos that were released by Neon themselves, Neon being the studio who produced and directed and released LongLegs. But I want to focus on the bigger ones because a lot of the billboards were just kind of one words like behemoth or battery or some random shit. So we're not going to focus too much on the billboards. We're going to focus more on the actual media released by Neon because they're pretty cool. The first ever teaser of LongLegs came out on Neon's official YouTube channel. It was released on January 2024 and it was simply titled "Every Year There Is Another." The entirety of this video centers around a family photo, except the family photo is slowly zooming in on the daughter's face. And the audio accompanying this extremely strange photo is that of a 911 call made by the father of the daughter saying that she isn't my daughter. All the while the video is slowly zooming in on the daughter's face, a bunch of symbols are being flashed onto the screen in the intervals of literally one frame. So you only get one frame to see what the symbols are. And I will give you 3 chances to guess what the symbols are, but I can guarantee you'll get it in one.
911, what's your emergency?
It's my daughter. I gotta be quiet.
Sir, can you stay on the line with me?
But it's not my daughter.
The symbols being flashed on the screen translate to ESLGO, and the very last long sentence of randomly generated paraphernalia there translates to LongLegs. Who would have thought? ESGLO means nothing, even when put through the cipher. There is a lot more than just this going on with the ciphers, but I'll get to that when we get to it. But that literally means nothing unless someone else can come forward and tell me what that means. I'm not trying to dig too deep into it. My brain is fried from looking at these goddamn symbols all day. I'm not joking. I can tell you what every single symbol means and its English counterpart. I've been staring at these things for like 6 hours a day. It's insane. Hi, future editing spooky here, which explains the sudden drop in quality. I apologize for that. The reason you're seeing me is because I forgot to mention 2 of the teasers in this video, even though it was planned to do so. I'm just fucking stupid sometimes. Knowing the answers to this part of the cipher doesn't really amount to much. It doesn't change anything in the grand scheme of the ARG. However, it matters to me, which is why I'm doing it. So let me talk to you about the other 2 that I forgot. Released exactly 1 week after every year there is another, a second teaser for Longlegs dropped. This one was called We've Been Waiting for Her. We've Been Waiting for Her opens up with a man opening the door to a priest and letting him inside of the home. It's filmed from a static viewpoint, so you can't really see him open the door, but you can tell he let the priest into his house. The priest walks in, looks directly at the camera with a friendly smile, and turns around and then is immediately attacked by the father with an axe. If you've seen the film, then you know that this is one of the murders that the FBI is trying to solve, and you also know that you are looking through the eyes of either the doll or the mother, Lee Harker's mother. Don't remember which one, but that's not important. What's important is that during the entire thing, there is again a hidden message, hidden in 1 frame intervals. I am going to let you watch the entirety of the teaser, and after the teaser's over, I'm going to walk you through every single frame in which a hidden message appears, and then I'm going to translate it for you. The first message there translates to stood. The second is upon. Third is the. Fourth is sand. Fifth is of the. Sixth is sea. The entire message from front to back reads, stood upon the sand of the sea. That comes into play a little later in the ARG when we get into the actual website of the film. The final message that flashes on the screen translates to July, which was the release month for Longlegs. It was released on July 2024. The next teaser was released exactly again 1 week after that one, and that one was called Remember to Say Your Prayers. Remember to Say Your Prayers follows the movie in the scene in which they're in the barn and they find the box hidden underneath the cross buried under the floorboards. Great scene, by the way. I fucking love this scene. Oh my god. And the audio that is accompanying this entire thing is Lee Harker on the phone with her mother, and her mother is asking her if she remembers to say her prayers. And at the very end, Lee Harker says, "I've never said my prayers, not even once." And then at the very end, it cuts to the cloaked black figure with glowing red eyes, and apparently, nobody put this together because some people are like, why is that there? That's freaking Satan, dude. That is actually Satan. What do you mean what that is? That's Satan. How did you not fucking put that together? Anyway, after Satan disappears from the screen, another message pops up on the screen. Again, I'm going to let the entire trailer play out, and then I'm going to talk about what that means.
Are you still saying your prayers? Our prayers protect us from the devil.
There isn't much hidden details here. However, the hidden message there translates to HYLSATAN. Heil Satan. It's not Hail Satan, but it's Heil Satan, which sounds like the German word for hail. Also, a lot of people were speculating that it's a Danish translation for a synonym for howling or screaming or like things like that, like screaming Satan. But anyways, we're gonna stick to the basics here, and it is Heil Satan. As you know, the entire movie revolves around Satan, Satanism, the occult, stuff like that. So it makes perfect sense. The next teaser released was, of course, 1 week after that, and that one was called You've Got the Teeth of the Hydra Upon You. This one was a little bit more fleshed out, a little bit more cut and dry. There isn't much hidden shit in here. It's just basically scenes from a movie. This is a trailer before the trailer dropped. You know what I mean? And there isn't even any hidden messages in it. I mean, there are, but it immediately fades and the English counterpart to that word is then replaced on the screen. I want to play you it and you can see exactly what I mean. There isn't much to go off of here. So that will do it for future editing Spooky as well as this shit. So we're gonna play it. The next little teaser here is called Sweet Part 2. Sweet Part 2 is basically a bunch of rips from the movie that they put into kind of like a teaser trailer before the official trailer ever released. This entire video has audio and video from the actual movie of Lee Harker's mother asking her if she says her prayers and Lee Harker answering with, "I've never said my prayers, not even once." While this whole thing is happening, a poem of sorts is being spread across the screen, and that poem reads, "So close the crimson and clover, all gone now to the edge, where the black begins, the long forked tongue hisses." A lot of you may be asking what that means, and I want to be the first to tell you that that means literally nothing. A lot of the ARG ends at a point where it's just a poem about darkness, evilness, Satan, stuff like that. The entirety of the ARG, as well as LongLegs itself, like the film, revolves very heavily around evil deities like Pazuzu, Satan, and a lot of them reference very old, like Mesopotamian evil entities. So when it comes to things like that, I don't dig any deeper because that's about as deep as it's gonna get. That's the end all be all answer to a lot of the ARG, is just translating it into this is what it says. And this is the end of that. So we are going to move forward, but not before I tell you what happens at the very end of this.
Do you still say your prayers? Said my prayers never once. They scared me.
Towards the end of the video, the words "daughter of the seventh she" is shown on the screen, quickly being overtaken by a LongLegs Cipher, then being replaced literally one frame, a lot of these are just one frame long, by 7.12. 7.12 is of course the release date for LongLegs. This again is just teaser trailers for the film. And the LongLegs Cipher translates to, dun, da, 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 "Hell awaits." And that is the end of Sweet Part 2. The next teaser trailer out there is called Dirty Part 2. Ooh, don't ask me where Sweet Part 1 or Dirty Part 1 are either. From what I can tell, they don't exist. So, yeah. Dirty Part 2 is very similar to Sweet Part 2, except for Dirty Part 2 takes place on a more evil scale, if that makes sense. It's almost as if Sweet Part 2 was taken from the perspective of Agent Lee Harker, and Dirty Part 2 was taken from the perspective of Longlegs. Sweet being goodness and Agent Lee Harker, and dirty being evil or Longlegs. The final scenes of this trailer is the viewer looking through the eyes of the doll back at itself through a mirror. If you've seen the movie, then you know what I'm talking about. And then Longlegs' face kind of dipping below the screen before cutting away before revealing his entire face. It cuts to a bunch of words. The words say "the man downstairs," and then again another LongLegs Cipher appears for one frame, then replaced by 7.12. Now this is going to refer back to what I was saying before about the evil deities, because this particular cipher translates to "behold Hanbi." Hanbi being the evil of evils in the Mesopotamian folklore. He is predicted or depicted as the most evil deity in Mesopotamian Sumerian history. Behold Hanbi is just behold evil. Behold the most evil thing that you can think of ever. And if you've seen the movie, again, I'm going to keep saying that. If you've seen the movie, then you know that Hanbi is there. He's fucking there. He's chilling. He's like this the whole time.
Oh, there she is.
Something that surprises me about this movie that literally no one else picked up is that you don't see Longlegs' face until Lee Harker remembers what he looks like. Like, yeah, you see like half of his face, you see like 3/4 of his face for a frame, but you don't see his entire face, his entire fucking mug until Lee remembers what he looks like, and then it shows his face. That has nothing to do with the ARG. That's just something that I was like, yo, how did no one pick this up? What is happening? But the next thing that was released by Neon was the official trailer for Longlegs, and then there was the heartbeat video where it monitors Michael Monroe's heartbeat when she first saw Nicolas Cage in character as Longlegs, where it shot up to like 172 or something like that. And then the next teaser, the final teaser, is Look Closer. And Look Closer is a video that takes you through different scenes of the movie that if you weren't looking closely enough, you couldn't see it. But the devil or Hanbi or whatever deity it is always in the background in every scene. Really cool video. That about does it for all the videos regarding Longlegs and what I could decipher on the Neon's official YouTube channel. However, on their Twitter page, or X as it is now, they released this photo of Longlegs' message on the back of Seattle Times. And that's a lot of things to decipher, but I deciphered them. So this is what they say. Little angel, little star, there she is, the birthday girl. Downstairs at your door, hark the herald angel. It only gets better from here. Remember to forget. The dirty red work of destruction, I would not hurt a fly. Dirty and sweet, my girl, backwards scratch my eye. Such a black revelation, killing for sweet relief. Crowns and horns his kingdom, off with every head. Up from every hole, everyone is dead. I am the traveling monster. Everybody bleeds the same colors. Behold, 6 is the number. Behold, pink is the letter. Now, besides the fact that this sounds like an XXXTentacion song, there isn't really much to pick apart here. He's kind of just talking about Satan and murdering. There's a very obvious reference to Satan there. Crowns and horns his kingdom, off with every head. Behold, 6 is the number. Of course, 6 is the number of the devil in the Bible, the mark of the beast. And like I said, the billboards that popped up around LA and New York and random highways across the United States, it all just kind of said one word. Like it was just a LongLegs cipher with one word that when translated said just one or two words, like his kingdom or the beast or 9 circles, something like that. It's all advertising. It's all very clever advertising, very cryptic shit. So we don't have to go into that too much. Hello again. There is one more thing that I forgot to mention. Perhaps one of the coolest things that I've seen from a movie in a very long time. And that is a number that you can call that when you call it, LongLegs himself answers. Super fucking cool. Now this number was put up on a bunch of different billboards all across the United States, and I am about to call it right here, right now, so you can hear exactly what is being said.
There she is. What's your name, little angel? Nice to meet you. Oh. I'll be waiting.
Cool shit. All right, that's it. We're going to move over to my computer now so that I can show you this very cool thing called the birthdaymurders.net, or as I like to call it, the fucking bane of my existence. Hi, sorry for such a downgrade in quality here, but I wanted to actually come to my computer for this next part. I feel like it's disingenuous for me to just kind of talk and then show you screenshots of what I'm talking about. Also, I'm lazy and that's a lot of editing. So I want to just sit here and go through it with you so that I can really explain what I'm looking at, because there is, I'm not joking, a fuck ton of information here to go through. With that being said, this right here is known as the birthdaymurders.net. This is a direct, real world website of the LongLegs universe. This details every single murder that LongLegs ever had a hand in. Now, obviously the website looks extremely old because this is written in HTML because it's supposed to be written with the times. LongLegs takes place in like the 90s to early 2000s. So this is actually with the times, and I want to walk you through everything here. The main bulk of everything we're going to talk about is here. It's called the victims, which is, it goes through every single victim that LongLegs has to his name. But first we're going to go through home and then contact. So the first thing is home, and this is basically a synopsis of who LongLegs is. I'm not going to go through and read everything to you because there is a lot here, and I don't feel like you want to sit down and listen to a stranger talk about these things when you could go here physically on your own and read it for yourself at your own pace. So I'm going to let you guys do that, and I'm just going to give you the abridged version of what this says. So basically, this is just an introduction to LongLegs, who LongLegs is, why he's so dangerous, and his whole shebang, like his whole zhuzh. Like, this is what he is. He is a murderer who has been tied to satanic occult worship. It's literally just Hiss by Sisterdestroyer. They put it on here before they ever released, you know, the actual song onto the internet. This is back when it was just on that vinyl behind me. So it was very eerie and very ominous to hear it while it was here, because you could very clearly tell that it was Longlegs singing, but you didn't know that he was an actual singer, I should say. The next thing I'm going to go through here is the contact information. So this is actually very interesting because this email address right here, I actually emailed. I emailed that email address July 27, 2024, 15 days after Longlegs released to the United States. And nothing. I got shit fuck back. They did not email me back even at all. Basically, this entire email is me saying, hey, like, I'm going to travel to the address listed. Can you let me know if there's something there or if I'm going to waste my fucking time? But yeah, July 27th, 2024. It is now January 25th, 2025, and nothing. So it's fair to say that this email address is not a thing anymore. The next thing to talk about, obviously, is this. This is the physical address listed on the contact information. Friend of a friend, 3525 Potts Road, Colfax, Washington, 99111. So the weird thing about this is that this is an actual place. Colfax, Washington is a real area in the United States. It's about an hour and a half south of Spokane, Washington, which is in eastern Washington. But the one thing is that there is no Potts Road in Colfax, Washington. You have to go forward or north up to near Lamont, and then it's right here. Nope, not here. I lied to you. It's right here. This is Potts Road. And if you go to the satellite imagery, there is absolutely fucking nothing on this road. As a matter of fact, I'm pretty sure this is a private road, which is why I never ended up driving out to this road, because I don't see the point in doing it. 3525 isn't even a physical address that resides on Potts Road, so there is no point in me driving up there, because this is about 4 hours from where I live, which is in Tacoma, Washington. I live around this area, and it's 4 hours to get all the way to wherever the fuck I'm not over here. It's about 4 hours to get here, and I'm not doing that for no reason. That is about an 8.5 hour back and forth for nothing. Maybe for the content. No, that's a lot of gas. I'm broke. Okay, I don't get paid for this shit. But that address right there is important in the story of Longlegs, because at the beginning of Longlegs, where Agent Lee Harker goes on a search for Longlegs, she has this feeling to look at a specific house because she knows that there's a killer in there. And when she goes to that house, her partner gets shot in the fucking face. You remember what fucking scene that is. The address for that house is none other than 3525 Potts Road, Colfax, Washington. Even though, as you just saw, there is no housing development around there. There is a firearm store, a farm, and like a house on the side of the road. So it's there to add a little bit more realism, because Potts Road is a real place. Colfax, Washington is a real area. 3525 Potts Road is not a real place. Of course, they wouldn't just dox somebody's house. That's fucking wild to me. But this exists. This does not. And friend of a friend, of course, refers to Longlegs himself. Now we get into the meat and potatoes of this entire fucking thing, the victims. I'm not going to sit here and bore you with the details of how each family was murdered. There are other cases you could look into, other YouTubers you could watch that probably do this. There are other real cases that deserve your attention, that need eyes on it, and for me to sit here and give it the same treatment as an actual true crime case is just fucking wild. So I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to summarize what they are. And these are fake, YouTube. This is for a movie. It's fake. I'm not even saying that to maybe get it past your monetization system. This is fake. It's fake. Okay, let's move on. The first 4 families, the first 4 cases on this website don't have anything to really delve into, because the first 4 families were being investigated on a local level by local law enforcement. This is before the FBI stepped in and found a connection between the murders themselves. And that is wild because at the end of every single one, they find a note that says LongLegs at the end of it. After every single one. Yet they never saw a fucking connection. That's wild to me. But yes, the first five families don't have anything to really cover besides this, you know, seeing Longlegs' car and stuff like that. It's really just a story at this point. It's not really anything to delve into, but that is the story behind the first 5 families, not 4, 5. But yeah, that is the story behind the first 5, and the reason why there isn't notes being shown is because it was being handled at a local level, who obviously didn't give a fuck, because they clearly saw that there were notes left with the name LongLegs on them and didn't make a connection. So there is no note to go over. The Engstrom family is where the actual mystery begins. And actually, if you read the stories behind them, the violence within the stories and within the murders and the cases get more and more upsetting and brutal. They get way more insano style with the shit. I'm not going to go into it. We're not here for that. We're here for the mystery. So this is the very first mystery. This was a note left by LongLegs. So now that we're here, I can actually sit here and explain what the cipher is. So this is where shit gets wild, and this is where the real headaches with this ARG come into play, at least for me. If you take this cipher behind me, and you take this letter left by LongLegs and you translate it one for one, as in you take the letter that's here and you put the equivalent English letter from there onto here, this is what you will get. As you can see, it is a bunch of fucking gibberish. And that is because there is another layer to this cipher, and it involves taking the one-for-one translation of that cipher code back there to the LongLegs letter, taking those raw letters, that raw data, and running it through a Vigenere Cipher. Now, I can see a lot of the light bulbs and screws coming loose in your heads when I said that. What the fuck is a Vigenere Cipher? This is a Vigenere Cipher. So you have to take the raw data that you got and translated from the LongLegs letter and feed it through a Vigenere Cipher with the code word of LongLegs, and you will get the actual message. Now, I am not going to sit here for even 3 minutes and try and explain to you how a Vigenere Cipher works when you will never ever use it in the real world or even outside of this video or this ARG. We live in an age of technology. There's a translator right here. Just put the raw data in here and it'll spit it out right here. Here's the keyword LongLegs, put it in here, it comes out here. That's how I solved all of these. Thank you, crypti.com/pipes/Vigenere Cipher. You're the shit. Anyway, back to the ARG. So by deciphering this note one for one using that cipher code back there and then throwing it through the Vigenere decipher machine thing, whatever the fuck, you get this. This is the raw data. This is the translation. A sweet treat to make you smile. 9 circles we descend. You never forget your first friend of a friend of a friend. 9 circles we descend is a direct reference to the Book of Revelations as well as Dante's Inferno. And you never forget your first friend of a friend of a friend. That is Satan. The next family is the Weir family. And of course, this shit, it just starts wild. It is insane. It's an insane story. Again, if you're interested, the link to this website is down in the description below. I don't know how long it's going to be up for, but I'm assuming they're going to take it down pretty soon. But this was the next note. Here is the raw data, the one-for-one translation of the Weir family note. And here in the plain text is the translation. Whiter than milk, the slider can you catch the cuckoo bird. Sisterdestroyer, take it and rat it, turn your stomach sour. Here is a direct reference to him, his musician name, Sisterdestroyer. Not sure what the fuck that means. Whiter than milk is kind of wild to me, but you know, you go off, sis, go off. And take it and rat it, turn your stomach sour. I want to say that's lyrics. It sounds like lyrics. It doesn't really sound like he means anything, especially with the pretext of Sisterdestroyer. In case some of you are OCD and wonder why some of them are in all uppercase and some of them have lowercase letters inside of them, it's because I translated a lot of this into my notebook here. And then I had to type it into here, and I didn't want to put in caps lock because it bothers me. Anyway, moving on. The next part is called More Murders, and then it goes into detail about how there was a 10-year-long pause. Longlegs didn't kill anybody for 10 more years, and then there was a break in the case where the FBI looked into the case and reopened it from a cold case standpoint because they wanted to solve the Longlegs murders. And guess what the fuck happened? It picked right back up again, and it started again with the start of the Bannister family. Again, it gets more and more gnarly because he murdered his entire family with a ball-peen hammer. If you don't know what a ball-peen hammer is, picture a hammer, but instead of a claw, there's a little ball right there. Murdered with that. And then he killed himself with a 12-gauge shotgun. Anyway, let's look at the letter. Again, we're not wasting time here. Just take this one-for-one translation with the cipher back there, feed it into the Vigenere Cipher machine, and you get this. Woe to the earth and the sea, the devil has gone down to you, laughing like the man downstairs. This right here is actually what is it? What the fuck is it called? A typo. So I wasn't the only one running into this problem. I could not translate this. As a matter of fact, I fucking gave up. That's why I didn't finish it here. It's very well known. There's a Reddit community named r/thebirthdaymurders.net, I believe, or is it just the birthday murders? Anyway, you get what I mean. It's linked in the description down below. And they too also have trouble with this one because it's indecipherable at a point, because once one of these letters are fucked up or in the wrong place, then the entire rest of it is fucked up. But this is supposed to be wriggling and writhing. That's what it's supposed to be, but that's unfortunately not what is here. I believe they made typos like this canon because Longlegs, according to the canon and the lore of Longlegs, he is very illiterate and not very good at spelling. That's how they made it canon, of them fucking up. Moving on to the Gaddis family. The Gaddis family have their entire spiel here of what happened to them. And then right here, of course, is the letter by Longlegs. Again, not wasting any time. Take the raw data, one-for-one swap, and you get this. I didn't put any spaces in here because, can you tell me where the spaces are in here? Yeah, that's what I thought. All right, this is what we're left with. Don't fucking blame me. The specter of Spender is calling. I don't hardly know the child, but I think that I could love her. Save me from the hell of living. It's important to note that if you haven't seen Longlegs, or if it's been a while since you've seen Longlegs, then you probably wouldn't know, but Longlegs is fucking psychotic. He's like not there a lot of the time, especially in the movie, and when he appears or has screen time, you can tell that he's just fucking gone. He's not there. So this doesn't surprise me. I kind of read this and I was like, oh, okay, because he's crazy. I'm sure maybe there's something deeper into it, but if you actually watch the film, like, oh, the dude's just kind of nuts. So I just leave it at that. Oh, there's the boy. There's the boy. Fucking killed his own family, dude. The next family to talk about is the Horn family. It looks like there's a lot more shit going on here. Like there's a lot more information here. And that's just because after Mr. Horn killed his family, he put them in a weird formation like this. So that's why it looks like there's a lot more information here than the others, but it's relatively the same thing. And this is the note left inside of a birthday card on top of the refrigerator, or stuck on the refrigerator. Another thing about Longlegs, if you've never seen Longlegs, is all of these murders take place within a couple days of the daughter's 9th birthday, but the 9th birthday has to fall somewhere around the 14th of any given month. Very confusing, but That's why all of these are around their birthdays, and that's why this is called the birthdaymurders.net. Now you know. Now let's go ahead and translate this. Oh wait, no, I already did. So here is what it means. 1-for-1 raw data here translated, and the Vigenere Cipher spits this out. I am locked in a wardrobe with a picture of shepherds posted onto the central kä ļᕬ, whatever. Between carvings, the box stands on curved legs. Now, this is not confirmed by anybody. This is my own personal crazy man theory, headcanon. I believe this is talking about the doll from the LongLegs movie. Like when they're in the barn and then they dig up a doll inside of a little coffin thing inside of a barn. I think that this is what it's talking about. It makes sense to me, but there's of course a lot of plot holes and stuff like that. But that's what makes sense to me. All right, moving on. So that does it for all of the cases here. And then it goes into an investigation along with some suspects. And then there's this photo here because kä ļᕬ was also really obsessed with ciphers. But it's important to note that this is not LongLegs. So if you try and type these into the Vigenere Cipher, it's going to come out with a bunch of gibberish because we don't know the keyword and I don't feel like trying to figure it out. So this means nothing in the bigger picture of the LongLegs universe. And it's also detailing here that he is not a suspect in the LongLegs murders and he has no idea who LongLegs is. This is a reader's column. And of course, a reader's column, like I said, this website's fucking old. It's just like interviews and stuff like that. And then at the very end, it says, I'm just a friend of a friend of a friend, and this friend wants me to stay. Obviously, they were interviewing LongLegs. And then you get these motherfuckers down here, dude. So I had to move my camera down a little bit so that I could show you this as an example. These little links down here, they look like hyperlinks that takes you to another part of the site, maybe even another site altogether. However, these are much more complicated than that because these are download links. If you click them, a zip file will be downloaded to your computer. Now, I can't show you this anymore because I've already went through the process, but these files are password protected. If you try to extract them, you have to put a password in before it will let you look at the folder itself. Again, I already did the process of unlocking it, figuring out the password and extracting all the files. So I can't show you the process of me doing it. I just tried again, but I can tell you how to access it, which is what I'm gonna do right now. The password for every single one of these files are going to be the file name itself translated from LongLegs language into English. So you don't even need the Vigenere Cipher. It's just a 1-for-1 raw data translation. For example, the first one is Bangagong, Bangagong. I think I spelled that right. Anyway, here's the passwords. So here are all of the files that are downloaded from here. These are not in order because obviously this is in alphabetical order and this is not because you can't really separate these by alphabet, but who cares? And the names of these files, for example, Bangagong, I know is the first one, will be the password for this file. So when you extract this file, it's going to ask you for a password. It's going to be one of these 5. That's it. That's how you get access to the folders. So we're going to go through every single one of these folders, starting with the first one, Bangagong. When you click on this, it's going to have you go through a bunch of stuff. Obviously, if you're not on Mac, I'm on Windows, you go through the other one. It's going to go through all this. And then you'll finally end up at the end step, which is a bunch of files with a bunch of crime scene photos. Like I said, this is the Horn family, if you remember how the father put them in a weird formation next to the boiler here. It's just a bunch of crime scene photos, but there is a bunch of hidden stuff within here. DSTOR is a different file type. This has nothing to do with the LongLegs ARG. This is how a computer reads certain files. I believe it's for Mac. So if you're on Windows, you don't have to worry about this. At least when I Google searched it, that's what it told me. I don't know shit about that. Other files in here include little excerpts from books. For example, this one's on Spiritism and it talks about God and Satan and Michael and all these other things. But what I want to talk about here, and I didn't translate because I didn't want to, I didn't see a need to do it, but I know how to do it, which is the most important thing, is the numbers here. You may notice that there are a bunch of different numbers separated by spaces. That's another cipher here, but this one is significantly easier. These numbers equate to their equal in the alphabet. What are you saying, Spooky? Let me explain this to you in simpler terms. A is 1, B is 2, C is 3, D is 4. Keep going on until Z is 26. And that is how you translate every single one of these files. There is nothing deeper than that, so I didn't see a need in trying to translate it. There isn't some hidden message that'll take you to some other site that will have a whole nother part of the ARG. It's just hidden messages within hidden messages. So I didn't see the need to translate them any more than I already did. So I didn't do that. But for shits and giggles, right now, let's translate the one that's highlighted 4/9/18/2025. As a matter of fact, let's actually do this together on the whiteboard. I'm going to do this the same exact way. I'm going to put the numbers in red and the letters in black. And then we're actually going to translate 2 of them because I'm doing all this fucking effort. So I'm going to do 2 of them and then we'll move on. I turned on the light behind me to make it better, but it just made it worse. So fuck me. Now that we've done this whole fucking shebang, let's translate the file that we were just looking at, the one that talks about God and Satan and Saint Michael. And let's just do it like how I told you. 1 equals A, 2 equals B, 3 equals C, and this file's name is 4/9/18/20 and 25. So 4 is D, 9 is I, 18 is R, 20 is T, and 25 is Y. So that file's actual name translated is dirty. Like I said, very simple cipher here. You don't have to put it through Vigenere and then solve the fucking Leviathan configuration to figure it out. You just gotta correlate the numbers and the letters to their respective places and blah, it outputs the answer. But since I put this much effort into this 30 seconds of footage, I'm gonna do the next one for me, but you get to watch it. The next file's name is 7/5/20/9/20 So 7 is... The next file's name is Get It On. Ooh, freaky. But yeah, like I said, I don't really see the need in translating these. They're just kind of really hidden messages within hidden messages, and that's about as deep as it goes. So I don't feel the need in telling you what every single fucking file translates to, because there are hundreds of them. But we're going to go through at least a lot of them, because a lot of them have hidden messages and meanings. So let's start again. Like I said, this one means dirty, this one means get it on, and then this, I believe, is the wave file for hiss. So this right here is just this. That's all it is. It's just hiss by Sisterdestroyer again. Initially, when I looked at these files, I thought they were just a placeholder for all of these photos back here, because this photo right here is literally this one right here, but just lower quality because it was blown up. But as you're about to see, I was wrong. So that was everything that was in Bangagong, which isn't much, but some of these have a lot of shit in them, and we're going to go through every single one of them. So the next one is friend of a friend. So sometimes when you open up one of these files, you're going to have the regular files like we went over already. By the way, this is just a letter that we already went over. But then you're also going to get something like this. This is another folder that you're going to find inside of the folder. However, it's not going to look like this. It's going to be another password protected extractable file that you're going to have to translate. I'm going to save you all the time. The password for the one inside of friend of a friend is she used my head like a revolver. Just that. Just save you some time. This is the password. Don't go through all the time. Just use this. Okay, And let's go inside of this folder. And there is a shit ton more information in here. So within the document, there's of course crime scene photos. There's a shitload of crime scene photos. They're fake. YouTube, chill the fuck out. But there's also another letter hidden in here. So I did what any grown man would do, and I translated the whole thing again. The name of the star is called Wormwood. Bow all the way down to the metal guru, work that gets dirty as it cleans, like a bloody mop, like a rag. So what's interesting about this one, right, about this cipher, is that the mention of Wormwood, the name of the star is called Wormwood. What's interesting about this is that one of the families that was murdered was called the Wormwoods. As of the information that I have right now, I can't see a connection. Maybe this was the letter left at the Wormwood family home, but I don't know. But I did find that to be very, very interesting. Also within the files are screenshots from movies involving religious themes, as well as pages of a book mentioning creatures like Pazuzu, who, if you don't know, Pazuzu was the demon in The Exorcist, and as well as being one of the most evil entities in folklore, which is very interesting to me. And look, a friend of a friend of a friend. Moving on to the next file, 9 Circles We Descend. This one is pretty cut and dry. It's all just crime scene photos. It's kind of gruesome shit. Wow, there's hair on there. That is insane. Holy shit. That's good detail. Good detail. Oh my God. All right. Nothing really of interest there. Again, if you want to go through these by yourself, these are the passwords to the links down on the very bottom of thebirthdaymurders.net. So feel free to go download these. They're completely safe, and explore on your own. See if you can find things that I didn't. But we're going to move on to the second to last one, Sand of the Sea. So within Sand of the Sea is another extractable file that is password protected. And the password to that one is the Beast Out of the Sea. Don't ask me how to get the passwords for these particular ones, the ones that are inside of the files, because I don't know. I was stuck on those for hours, and finally I gave in and I looked in Reddit, and Reddit has the answers to these. But for these things, I did decipher them myself. So this one right here, located inside of Sand of the Sea, translates to, I have this actually pulled up right here. Upside down angels is never wrong, Mr. Downstairs at your door. So what if they slip on the moon on the milk? Houses so white, losing their heads, seeding my cherries and milk under the sycamore tree. At the old camera farmhouse, making the misfit list, all hail the Prince of Darkness, the great and ancient serpent. Only one head on the Hydra. It's time to cut the cakes. Not gonna lie to you, I don't know what that shit means, but it goes hard, I guess. I don't know. Go off, LongLegs. The first file in here is a photo of Baphomet. I'm going to go off on a little tangent here. I'm not sure why he's here. If you know anything about Baphomet, then you know that he is about balance. Like, he is neither good nor evil. The entirety of Baphomet, what he's supposed to represent, is the balance of good and evil. He is literally yin and yang. Like, that's his thing. Good and evil have to coexist to make a perfect world. That's what Baphomet, I'm not sure why he's here. But again, what is Pazuzu doing here? So within this Beast of the Sea is Revelation 13. That's the name of the file. I did not change that. That has just been like that since I downloaded it. Revelation 13 was the passage that was read in LongLegs, that Lee Harker was reading in LongLegs. The dragon stood on the shore of the sea, and I saw a beast coming out of the sea. It had 10 horns and 7 heads with 10 crowns on its horns, and each head a blasphemous name. Like, this is the it's describing Satan, basically. That's my interpretation of this, is that it is describing Satan. And this is also the what they were reading in Longlegs, which I thought was a pretty cool callback to the plot of the movie. Anyway, moving on. Inside of the file are a bunch of crime scene photos as well as illustrations from different books. This is of Beelzebub, another name for Satan, or at least a certain religion's interpretation of Satan. Every religion has their equivalent of a Satan or an evil deity. So that's Beelzebub and what it is. And then there's also a picture of a red piano that I didn't notice until literally just now. So that's kind of creepy. Of course, passages from books, and then another cipher here. I actually don't think I translated this one. So I want to do that right now. 1 second. Hi, hello, how are you? This is a lot more complicated than I thought it was going to be. Thank God you're watching this video and not actually doing this, because I could never figure this out if you gave me 3,000 years. So I had to dig it up on Reddit. But apparently some of this cipher here is not in LongLegs code. So the key to a lot of this is LongLegs, right? But some of these, like right around this area right here, it switches the key from LongLegs to NG legs LO. And then you can translate the rest of it. Like I said, that doesn't make any fucking sense to me. I got literally to like right here. I got these, and then the rest was gibberish for 20 minutes. And I was like, I'm not fucking dealing with this. It's like 10 o'clock at night. So I went on Reddit and I had them translate it for me. I just looked at Reddit. Where is it? I just looked at here, and it's right here. So thank God. Who is this? MF Cash. Thank you, MF Cash. You are the GOAT. Let's move on. So it translates to, she is a dwell for demons and a haunt for spirits impure, a haunt for every unclean bird, for every detestable animal. Cheese and crackers cracked in half, red and wet she finds me. Among all of your things, I love to watch you shine. Daughter of the seventh she, can you hear the zilgi? The time has come to judge the dead, collecting souls at auction. Under the veil she finds me, listen to the zilgi, birthday girls unmake me. You are the dark, come take me. So the reason some of these sound so poetic is because Longlegs, the reason he looks the way he does is because of botched surgery. He was a glam rocker. Think of Vince Neil. Think of Axl Rose, like that era of rock. Kiss, Motley Crue, fucking, God, it's so late. That era of rock, that was what he wanted to do. So all of this, I'm assuming, is lyrics to songs that he wrote. Of course, he couldn't sing, so yep. And then some of these, we get little treats. We get little MP4 playings here. And I'm going to throw this up on the screen and let you watch it for yourself. So here it is. Here's what this file is right here. And with that freshly in your mind, we're going to move on to the very last file called X's Mark the Spot. So inside of X's Mark the Spot is yet another extractable password protected file. The password to that one is I could never understand the wind at all, which is the opening lyric to a T-Rex song. I don't remember exactly what song it is, but I do know that the T-Rex, the artist T-Rex, is mentioned a lot, referenced a lot within the folders and Longlegs' mind. It might be his favorite band, but who cares about this motherfucker, you know what I'm saying? Inside of the file, we have yet another one of these motherfucking things, and this one translates to this. Lake of fire is the second death. Your lovely white house awaits. The fine time we had at the say. I think this typo is supposed to say the fine time we had that day, at that time, or at that day, something like that. That fine time we had at the say. That doesn't make any fucking sense. Cheese farm where X marks the spot. That's what it this fucking piece of shit translates to. I'm tired of deciphering these motherfuckers, dude. We have yet more crime scene photos. Of course, this is the Horn family again, because you can tell because this is the only family that was put up next to a boiler in some random formation. And then we have a still photo of Longlegs walking down a hallway. This will come into play later. So let's go into the second file within here. I could never understand the wind at all. More crime scene photos of the Horn family. As a matter of fact, I think all of these are of the Horn family. More photos of the red piano, and after more digging and reading of the article again, it is a direct reference to something mentioned here in the reader's column, the red piano. So moving back over is more photos of the Horn family, excerpts of different books mentioning evil deities such as Pazuzu, demonic possession, stuff like that. But what the real bread and butter here is this. This is the MP4 that was mentioned before. So I'm going to let this play, and then we are going to end the video. I'm not sure if you caught it when you were watching that, but within the video, there is very clearly a message here. Am I tripping? Is it just late? Is it because I've been recording for 3 hours? I don't know. But to me, right now, this looks like a message. Nope, it's just a split fucking second thing. Of course it is. Of course it is. Let's go back even more. Is it further back? Is there something here as well? Because I know it dips to blue. Oh, is he just fucking walking like a creep? That's the first time I've seen that, so I gotta... Oh, is there something here? Oh, it's right there. It looks like it's just kind of fading. It doesn't look like it's an actual message. It looks like it's just something that happens within VHS. It's been a long time since I've seen a VHS. But that does look like a message, doesn't it? There's a message here. I don't know what Longlegs is doing here. It looks like he's literally just walking down the hallway. These videos have no audio. Like, I've listened to this 100% volume on my computer, headset maxed out all the way. There is just no audio. But before I end this video, I want to translate what this is, because there is a lot of letters here, and it's gotta amount to something. I don't think it's gonna matter too much, but this is the last time I'm gonna look at this ARG, and I don't want to leave it off with something that is at the back of my mind. So let's figure out what that says real quick. I'm not sure if you guys can see that, but that is what that means right there. It means, and he stood on the sand of the sea. Yeah. And that'll do it, dude. Thank all of you so much for watching that scuffed ass ARG video. I appreciate all of you. Now, there are some things that we didn't get to. For example, there was the Mr. Downstairs on Letterboxd, where he basically went to random people's profiles or random like companies' profiles and posted cryptic messages in LongLegs ciphers on the comments of those profiles, and then just kind of disappeared into the night. I didn't really look into those because those were more like advertising campaigns. Like it was kind of building up hype for the movie, similar to the teasers, but much longer. And I didn't want to do all of that for things that amount to nothing. I mean, at the end of the day, that really amounted to nothing, but it was fun to do nonetheless. If you like horror content and you don't feel in the mood for content that kind of puts you in the atmosphere of a horror movie and you kind of just want to learn about horror in an upbeat environment from a guy who thinks he's funny, you should consider subscribing. We are back to weekly uploads and I can't wait to see what this channel is going to do this year. We're going to shoot for 100K, but honestly, I'm just here because I like making this kind of shit. And if you guys like watching it, thank you. I appreciate all of you, and I will see you guys in the next video. Why did I do that? That was fucking weird. All right. See you later. Bye. Why are you still here?